This is my Transformers Rise of the Beast review. Let's get straight into it. This movie was the most average yet. This movie did a lot of things right. The Transformers had more screen time, there was no clutter compared to the other films, everything fits right in. There were no obnoxious characters, and there was something for at least every character to do. Even if those characters didn't get a lot of screen time. Humans excluded, it doesn't really matter with them. We all are still waiting on that Transformers film with no humans at all, but I wonder if that day will ever come. But at least every character had something to do. Some characters that were supposed to be new adaptations of famous characters wasn't fleshed out. Cheetor and Rhinox didn't really have characters at all. To those Beast Wars fans who wanted to see Cheetor and Rhinox how they were in the Beast Wars cartoon, I'm sorry. When Optimus Primal was given the debriefing about how to shut off the transwarp key, that should have been Rhinox. He has the tech-savvy literacy to do that, but he didn't even say anything in this movie. What's the point of showcasing this character if you barely see him be him? Airazor didn't even transform, which is disappointing. Maximus was introduced in the beginning of the film, but we have to wait a little bit later in the movie to see him again. Let me tell you, this film is quite short. It went fast, especially with the interesting stuff with the Transformers. People complain that these Transformers movies are very long, but I don't really have a problem with it as long as it's about the robots. When it comes down to seeing the Transformers speak and interact with each other, I don't really have a problem with that. So with this film being shorter than the rest, when we see the Transformers, it be kind of quick. The fights are quick, the whole situation with them are just kind of fast. And this time we was dealing with much better characters. I guess that's just me, but I really just enjoy seeing these Transformers. But so much just happens so quickly. I think the problem when it comes down to the other films is that with people, not really me, but when you spend time with the human characters just standing about and just doing stuff that nobody really cares, that becomes the baggage because nobody really want to see that. They want to see the Transformers. This film does not waste time, so that's a plus. But I wish you could have got a little bit more. Maybe it's just the budget. At least the humans have just some heartfelt moments because that stuff in the last night it's just bad with the humans talking about the Transformers. Why don't the Transformers talk about the Transformers? Even if they were in vehicle form to relieve some budget, it would be better if a robot, a voice, wind up telling the story instead of just a human character. Optimus Prime has forsaken us, that sort of stuff. But in this film, we don't have any of that. That's a plus. And now the benefit of just having everything more fleshed out and organized is that the Transformers are not in the background at this point. The two human characters are still relevant, that's for sure, but at least the Transformers have some level of relevancy. Every character was used. He wasn't just showing off some character just to do something for some film and then be disregarded like in The Last Night. I must say that the direction of this film is well done. However, with some of the choices of certain characters, I can't really say the same thing. Bumblebee's death is just the worst. It's lame and it's empty. Maybe it happened because the animators didn't have to spend time animating another character and they can just leave him out for a bit. I know Hasbro is not going to allow Bumblebee to stay dead. They're napping. He's a synthetic character. He can't really have any natural occurrences. With the exception of his own movie and the first movie, he doesn't have any natural groundedness. Any other character can die and stay dead, but Bumblebee can't, because Bumblebee is given this special treatment, and it's worse than any plot armor. When Optimus Prime died in Revenge of the Fallen, it actually served something. I get that Bumblebee's death is for something to serve for Optimus Prime and his arc, but the trailer showcased that this is gonna, wow, Bumblebee's gonna die? Of course he's not gonna die. So trying to make the suspense like that, will Bumblebee stay dead, will Bumblebee die in this film? He can die, but it won't be permanent. He's a marketing icon. It's bullcrap. What about the other characters? Scourge and the Terracons are not that much. They are a bit of a challenge, but they are inconsistent in their power. Each time the Autobots face them, they get less and less powerful. First time they were unstoppable. Second time the Autobots was able to last longer, and then the third time, well, they were defeated. Scourge has his moments. He's a decent antagonist. He's no Megatron or Lockdown though, but he was alright. The main thing about him is that he just served Unicron, and that his power comes from Unicron. He was able to bring some emotional damage to the heroes, so I give him points. He killed Ape-Link, he killed Bumblebee, Airazor died because of him, so he did something. But I'll say there's been better. And for all that is good in the artistic world, can we please move on from these dark gray metal designs? They look ugly, especially when it's animated. What's wrong with the silver designs? I mean, you can do more for an evil character than to make him look just dark and dull. They don't look appealing. It looked bad in The Last Night, and it doesn't look nice on Scourge. Besides the dull, dark gray designs, all the other character designs look alright, except for Wheeljack's face. I really just don't understand the inconsistencies. Optimus Prime should have his battle mask on all the time. Like, just stay consistent. But RC design, top tier. The CGI isn't that bad, it's okay, but it's inferior to the Bay films. The CGI on the characters that have dark gray metal, yeah, it's worse on them. Now here's something I noticed, and that's the audio of Optimus Prime. It feels inconsistent. One moment he would sound one way, and right after he would sound a different way. It was bizarre on some lines. And oof, and some of his deliveries and some lines when he was mad, why were some of those lines so murderous? I get that he has some skepticism and he was upset that Bumblebee died, but why must he be like that with certain tones he did? Why? Once more, I get the direction, the arc that he's trying to give him of being more imperfect, but he can still be optimistic and still be skeptical of humans. Like, why is it a thing nowadays to have a movie be in one direction of tone and then just change it up the next movie? In the movie Bumblebee, Optimus Prime had his eyes set on Earth as a means of refuge from Earth. Now in this movie, he has regrets. Why must the direction between films just take a shift like this? Have it one way and then in the next movie it's entirely different. Have an Optimus Prime make a mistake. Like, to some degree, he should know what he's getting himself into. But at a moment, let me talk about Unicron. Now, I believe that he was nerfed in this film. In the movie, in the very beginning, Ape said that Unicron would be stuck forever in this galaxy. In previous iterations, he was much more powerful than that, able to just consume entire universes at will. He was vast in his abilities. How they carried out this key just really handicapped that, made him look weak. It just doesn't really look well on his part. In relation to the Optimus Prime situation, I think this film should have really carried on what Bumblebee started. If your point was to come to Earth, why are you trying to leave Earth? That's the problem. These films are fighting with each other. If the audience is getting a message in one movie, why is the other movie giving them something completely different? That might oppose what the first movie was trying to say. And that what brings us to the deleted scene. Optimus Prime versus Transit. And let me tell you, the Optimus Prime versus Transit is pretty much Bumblebee 2, because it is the best part of the movie that wasn't even in the movie. The whole situation seemed like a continuation from what Bumblebee had started. Because the Autobots are hiding on Earth, if the Decepticons get rid of it, then the Earth is in disarray. So that's why Optimus Prime had to take down the Decepticons, such as Transit. But in this situation, he's also trying to leave Earth, because the setup from this is really excellent, because it creates the best situation. I feel like this is more loyal to Bumblebee than the entire plot of this film. I believe this works as a suitable continuation off of the fact that the Autobots are the weaker faction. That's my opinion. Overall, the movie is not that bad. It's not that great from start to finish. Once again, I say there are improvements and they stand out. The problem at the core is really the purpose. I feel that it was made because we just need a new Transformers film. I think Hasbro just drawing back the resources because of the previous failures of the Hasbro properties like Snake Eyes Origins and The Last Knight. I don't think this attitude will help the franchise because Rise of the Beast had the lowest box office of any live-action Transformers movie. It really looked bleak, but I can applaud Stephen Caple Jr. because that Air Razor death scene became one of the best scenes of the whole franchise. Now that is one of the better improvements. There was real emotion with that, but we need better action, because the action in the Bayverse was just much better. But what we really need is to return to like how Bumblebee did it, how Travis Knight did it. Because the G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover idea, it seems understandable because they're both Hasbro, but do you really want to see the humans competing with the Transformers with screen time? That kind of stuff with the military has been a thing for most of the Michael Bay Transformers. It won't be that much different. With the budget of these Transformers movies, of course they could use the humans so that they won't have to put a lot of money to animate the Transformers. So yes, they would be reduced yet again. So that about wraps this review up. Ultimately, I rate this movie 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's a movie that you should watch once, and then you go on YouTube to watch the Transformers stuff. It's average that it is better than the worst Michael Bay movies, but it's just also so average that it's just so painfully inferior to what we have gotten in the past, like with Bumblebee and the first Transformers live action movie. This is Lights126 saying till all I want.